Hello, welcome to another video, and today I'm using the Facepuncher. Wait, no. Today I'm using the Mantra, the new legendary Marlow 1 shotgun added in the Bloom Reaper patch. It drops on Bloom Reaper itself if you're lucky, and this is a gun that does melee damage. It's both, it's damage source gun and it's damage source melee. You can apply very basic logic into how this gun works. Does it affect guns? It affects the Mantra. Does it affect melee? It affects the Mantra. It's just simply both. And that allows us to do some pretty creative things. Also destructive things, because this gun is a crime because of how we can make it treat gun damage. Because this game, we've got a lot of damage conversions from gun damage into other types, which is there to help hybrid playstyles, but this gun just kind of gets it all, so we get extra benefit from gun damage. And it starts getting a little bit silly, so let's jump into what I have. So here on Vex, I'm doing my specializations first, just to show you what I mean. I am a gun, skill, not action skill, damage now benefits from increases to gun damage. Bare arms, melee damage now benefits from increases to gun damage. So I'll get onto skill in a little bit. So melee, 50% of increases to gun damage, which means if you have Riddle You this, you get 50% gun damage and 25% melee from that gun damage, giving us 75% on hit. So that's our on-hit damage for our damage formula. 75% of that goes into the Mantra. You get another 15% from Brute to reach Riddle You this, so that's going to be another 22 or so. And then if you go into your skill tree, you will find skills like Grave Implements. 60%, it's actually 90. Goes even higher if you have more stacks. If you get this to 6 stacks, 120, it's now 180 for the purpose of the Mantra. Which you trigger finger again, it goes 90, it's actually 135. It's just 1.5 times. Then, if you get skills that add both to your gun damage and melee damage, it's now just working overtime. Because normally Recurrence is going to give you 40% gun damage, right? But no, we're getting 40% gun damage, 50% melee damage for 90%, but 50% of our gun damage goes into melee damage as well, so that's going to be another 20, so that's 110%. Not 40, 110. Why? This is just the surface of the silliness of this weapon. So, starting from the top of this tree, it reloads a lot. So, Idle Hands. Now, you might think Fell Inscriptions for some melee damage, or Cold Iron for some gun damage. We have enough on hit, so this is the time to help the support of the loadout with Sanguine Fiends, because this is the only sustain we can fit in, not for us, but for our Spectres. This is a Spectre build. The crit chance from Coven is far too important to let our Spectres just kill themselves right off spawn. They need a little bit of sustain. But this is the time, Sanguine Fiends is a very good sustain skill, to grab that. If you want to go back, you sacrifice Grave Assault. But, again, we don't have much room for fire rate, because over in our specializations, I opted for, the damage stuff rather than CQC. You can go for CQC, but I opted for, 75% stats from Riddle You This. Which become even more worthwhile with some of the extra stuff we've got in here. So this is where I've got my fire rate, and then onto Grave Fiends, no brainer. This is going to be applying multiple times, because we have double dipping and triple dipping skills. Yes, triple dipping. So Grave Fiends is here as a no-brainer. I really wanted Grave Quickening, but that'll have to wait for a level cap. Recurrence we've already covered, into Reverberations, the first of our double dipping skills. Melee damage dealt by Vex or her minions has a chance to deal melee incendiary damage. 150% of initial damage dealt. I don't know why it starts already higher than what you dealt. This makes this a very powerful double dipping skills. So if I have 100 damage, my damage formula takes it to 1000 damage. This Reverberations starts at 1000 or 1500 because it's 150%. And then it takes that 1500, applies the damage formula again to 15,000. We've gone from 100 to 1,000 to 15,000. That's how double dipping works. Very short. Yeah, Reverberations, very silly. What's even sillier It's not melee damage. It's skill damage. Which is why I have I Am a Gun and a Honed Mind. Honed Mind also providing crit chance. Coven, crit chance. Skill damage can't naturally crit, so we need crit chance bonuses to make it crit. Why is it so important for Reverberations to crit? Well, because it's skill and not melee. It's bleeding. We can proc Bloodletter not only from our gun hits for a double dip, we can proc Bloodletter from our Reverberation hits for a triple dip. That is applying a lot of our on-hit bonuses for a third time. And because it's skill, and Reverberations is skill, that's why we have I Am a Gun. So all of these gun damage bonuses are going into skill damage, which are then getting applied twice. Not additively, multiplicatively, because it's a double dip. So it's just like it's a new instance of damage. That's how bleed works. Which then gets you a damage formula again, because it's wrong. And then I decided to go with a kill skill route, so Grave Sights, Implements, and Power into Mortal Terror. We won't be proccing Mortal Terror too often. That's the Spectre's jobs. The Spectres fire big machine guns really quickly. Again, bonus points to Grave Assault. They will be providing our kill skill stacks. I haven't gone all in on Grave Power because then there wouldn't be enough room for bleed. Yeah, this looks very ugly, I know, but rep kits are too valuable. To spend one skill point and get an always-on 30% all damage bonus, or, War Paint, which has 30% fire rate, 30% movement speed, 30% all damage, 15% fire rate, whatever you choose. Guns and Needles, 1 or 2 points is just far too valuable. Never pass it up. So, yeah, you just have to delegate 15 skill points across these 5 skills in any way you see fit. This is the way I have it. I could maybe move an Implements over to Bloodletter, but I did want a little bit more upfront damage, and considering how many times gun damage is called upon from all the conversions and double and triple dips, I decided to keep it maxed out. And we don't really need Bloodletter for mobbing, so it's just nice to be able to just wipe stuff out off the map without needing the RNG of a bleed proc. So that's why I've gone 5 Implements and 4 Bloodletter, but again, you can do any combination here so long as you have a point in all 5 of these skills. And then Keen Mind for some extra crit chance. With Coven at 30, Keen Mind at 45, you throw a crit knife that takes you to 75, you throw a second crit knife, caps you over 100. Now, in terms of gear, it's going to be a typical gun build because it's a gun. So we've got War Paint, 30% fire rate, 30% movement speed. I've got Accelerator here, 100% action skill cooldown rate, but you can also throw in Rage in there for a 30% damage that will be triple dipping. You can throw in fire rate, whatever you want. Melee damage, if you want. I would suggest all damage from Enrage is better, but it does hurt the healing of the rep kit. And then we've got Teen Witch for the amp as well on an amp shield, because it's a gun, so it's going to get that 150% fresh mult, which is then going to feed into everything. So that's really strong. As an alternative, you can run, not that one, you can run a very good Dancer class mod here, like a Reverberations class mod. This one's pretty good, and this will also free up your shield slot for like a Fireworks or, other alternative. So that is an option, although a bit harder to get a hold of in my opinion. Teen Witch is pretty simple. And then Ordnance, I've just got the knife because critting is so important to get that bleed proc. You cannot get the bleed proc from Reverberations on a headshot. Reverberations has to roll through crit chance. So that's why throwing knife is, of course, a bit of a no-brainer for us. You can, of course, go Slippy as well, because, Reverberations will apply to Slippy, and then you can get the bleed off of a Slippy throw, so Slippy is a great option as well. And then in terms of enhancement, Bounce Pass, Sequencer, Mixologist, all great options. Mixologist best for like single target, and then Bounce Pass for the extra ricochets for mobbing. Because in terms of the mantra itself, I haven't actually shown many variants, apologies. Jacob's Ricochet for mobbing, Ripper for bossing. Ideally, if you can get both in one, that's very handy. Yeah. Now, in terms of base damage, mine aren't great. They're at 2.8 thousand. It goes to like 3.5. So yeah, that one's 3.6. It goes to like 3.5. I've got some pretty poor ones here, which is a shame. You can get much better rolls than what I have. These are quite low rolls. You can go well over 3. which I highly recommend. So, yep, that covers the crime that is Mantra. It's so silly. It's so silly. I'm already getting some good Bloom Reaper kills with it. It's the only thing with Bloom Reaper is that I get slowed down on the crystals at the start. Still figuring that one out, but as a weapon, it's just so plug and play. This build is so just easy to put together because you don't need different weapons for different scenarios. You just use the mantra, because that's what the build is. It's a mantra build. Do I need any other weapons? No, just 4 mantras. It's easy to play, easy to put together. I didn't really mention firmwares, so back onto the screen. We've got High Cal 2 for a bit of a fresh mult on our gun damage here, and it's got slow projectile, so I'll take the projectile speed. Heating up because we reload a lot, and, you know, reloading is annoying, so that. And then I've just got 2 real big fists here. You can run Skillcraft here as well to get some extra bleed consistency and Mortal Terror consistency with Spectres and whatnot, but I just went for the 50% soup here. So yeah, that is my mantra build. Doomsday is back from my Borderlands 3 Facepuncher build on Amara. It's back. TikTok. The Doomsday is here. And yeah, well, I don't really know what Gearbox were thinking with this gun, to be honest, because you would think, you know, learning from the mistakes of Facepuncher. Nope. Nope, he's brought it back and just made all the same mistakes as before. Just like, melee? Oh, you mean shooting, right? No, I kind of want to punch things. Oh, okay, yeah, you want to shoot them? Cool, flying enemies, gotcha. Here's a gun for them. Ah, well. I like building around guns like these because they're silly, and there's a lot. You can do a lot more with guns like these versus a normal gun, like mixing reverberations into bleed. So, I enjoy it, and I hope you enjoyed this loadout as well. So, yeah, with that, thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Stay safe, stay awesome, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.